Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is crunch time in League 2 as we come into the final month of the season with the title and automatic promotion spots still all to play for. Wrexham host Mansfield at the racecourse with the home side sitting in third on 70 points and Mansfield sitting top of the pile in first on 73 points. Wrexham come into this game off the back of a 3-1 away win at Grimsby last Saturday, but they are not in convincing home form as of late with just 2 wins from their last 5 here at the racecourse. And after a record-breaking promotion last year, Wrexham are looking for back-to-back promotions to see them land back into League One. The last time they played in that division was just under 20 years ago. For Mansfield, despite being top at the moment, it has been a shaky last month with just 5 wins from their last 10, including the disappointing 1-1 draw at home last weekend to Colchester. But in terms of their away record, it is 50% in the league with 10 wins from 20, with 3 coming in the last 5 matches away from home. This is the first meeting between the two at the racecourse since April 2013, as the 2 games they've already played against each other this season was played at Mansfield's Field Mill. The first battle saw a 0-0 draw in the league, but Wrexham just a month later in November of 2023 knocked Mansfield out of the FA Cup by 2-1. So, for this huge match for the title and the automatic promotion places, will Wrexham or Mansfield take home all 3 points? This could be a game that goes one of 2 ways. It could be quite a cagey game because with 7 games left to play, including today, with what's on the line, you don't really want to go for it too much and leave yourself vulnerable at the back. But it could be one of those games where whichever team does take it on and does take the risks, they might be rewarded. So it's going to be interesting to see the mindset of the 2 teams and how they set up, because it could be cagey, but we know the way that Wrexham like to play, it can be very end-to-end stuff. There can be a lot of goals in the Wrexham games. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. For me, I think both teams will see it as a game they just can't lose. I think a draw, I think maybe would be okay for both, but I just don't think both teams would want the other team to gain 3 points on them. It could be quite dangerous at this point. The top 3 are Mansfield first on 73 points, Stockport County are second in second with 71 points, and then Wrexham are third on 70 points. But below that, they've got MK Dons on 67 points in fourth, Crewe on 65 points in fifth, and then Barrow in sixth on 64 points. So there's just not quite that gap yet between the top 3 and fourth, because the top 3 teams in this division do go up automatically. So there's just not quite that gap yet. They just need to be careful. The playoff spots are just right behind them, and a win for either side today could be huge to secure themselves automatic promotion. It's going to be, I'm hoping, a really entertaining game at the racecourse. It's hyped up. It's a huge game in League 2. It's obviously the biggest one of the day in this division. And in terms of the other games, we have got Stockport County away at bottom team Forest Green. Yeah, they are still bottom of the league, just below Sutton United on goal difference. Barrow, who are currently in 6th place, they play Grimsby at home. Grimsby are a little bit far down the table as well. For Crewe, they take on... Where are Crewe? Crewe. Well, MK Dons are at home to Walsall. MK Dons were beaten last weekend by Stockport County 5-0. And there we go. And Crewe are away at Gillingham. Gillingham can be a pretty hard place to go to at times. So there's definitely some interesting fixtures on. This is the biggest of the lot. Like I say, they've already played twice this season, both at Mansfield ground, and Wrexham haven't lost there. Drew in the league and won in the FA Cup first round back on the 4th of November. And Wrexham have won 7 of the last 14 games against Mansfield. And Mansfield's last away win here at the racecourse was back in September 2011. So it's been some time since Mansfield have won here. They did play each other in the National League quite a few times actually, when they were both in the 5th tier of English football. They played 10 times against each other in the National League from October 2008 to April 2013. They played each other 10 times. Wrexham won 6. There was 1 draw and Mansfield won 3. Mansfield were promoted top of the league in the 2013-2014 season, and it took Wrexham a little bit longer to be promoted. They were promoted last season as champions. They spent 15 seasons in the National League. Wrexham, it was some time away from the Football League. Their last League 2 season was back in 2008. Their last League 1 season was back in 2004-2005 season. So they are starting to slowly get themselves back up the divisions, Wrexham, due to the takeover and the ownership of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. And it's a huge one. It's a game where they'll fancy themselves here, Wrexham, being at home. They've won 13 of their 19 games here at home in the league, winning 2 of the last 5 against Accrington and Notts County. But we've had some score draws here at the racecourse. They drew 5-5 with Swindon in mid-August. They drew 3-3 in late September with Crewe. They lost 5-3 here against MK Dons in early August. So there's been a lot of games with a lot of goals. So we're hoping for something similar here this afternoon as both teams here arrive out of the tunnel here at the Wrexham Racecourse ground. They have currently got a temporary cop stand behind the goal to the right hand side, so it is a full 12,600 capacity. It looks like it's pretty sold out there at Wrexham, as this is third against first. Wrexham currently third. A win for Wrexham will put them level on points with Mansfield. It's just so close up there at the top of League 2. We'll obviously keep up to date as well with the other games around the grounds. But we'll start with the lineups here. We'll start with the Wrexham team. They made just one change from their win away at Grimsby last weekend. It's Arthur Okonkwo, who remains in goal on loan this season from Arsenal. A back 5 at right wing back is Luke Bolton, signed in January from Salford. Left wing back is a returning James McLean, who's missed the last 2 games out injured. And the 3 centre halves of Max Cleworth, Owen O'Connell and Will Boyle. 3 central midfielders, Andy Cannon is one of them. He scored a brace in their win against Grimsby last weekend. Thomas O'Connor and Elliot Lee will support Cannon in the midfield. And then 2 up front, former Mansfield player for 2 years, Ollie Palmer, will play alongside today's captain for Wrexham. That is Paul Mullin. And Paul Mullin is just 3 goals away from 100 for Wrexham. He is their 10th all-time leading scorer in their history. The 29-year-old is the captain today. For Mansfield, it is just the 3 changes from their disappointing draw last weekend to Colchester. Christy Pym remains in goal. He's got the 13 clean sheets this season. That's the amount he got last season. Back 4 of returning Elliot Hewitt, who returned to the bench last weekend, but this is his first game since April 2023. He's been out with an ACL injury for the last 11 months. And a left back at right back is going to be Jordan Bowery, and a left back is going to be Elliot Hewitt, with 2 centre backs of Aidan Flint and Lewis Brunt, who were both brought in the summer. And then in the midfield, it's going to be Lewis Reed with Ollie Clark, Aaron Lewis and Davis Keeler-Dunn, who is their leading scorer. 19 goals for the season in the league for Davis Keeler-Dunn. He'll play just in behind the strikers here, where we've got on the left, it will be Will Swan on loan. It was on loan last season from Nottingham Forest, but joined in a permanent deal in the summer. And alongside him will be the experienced 35-year-old Lucas Akins, who has got the 12 league goals this season. He's got 5 in his last 9, so despite being the age of 35, he has still got it. Lucas Akins. As we're about to get underway here at the racecourse, it'll be Mansfield kicking right to left. Wrexham left to right towards that temporary cop stand, as they are going under some stadium work to really improve this ground and improve this club, like they have been doing, the 2 owners, since they came in a couple of years ago, securing that promotion from the National League last season, going up against Notts County. Got a record 111 points. Wrexham, the most the division's ever seen. But now they're in the League 2, and after a slowish start in the league, they are well and truly on their way to looking for back-to-back promotions, as we're just waiting for the referee's whistle of Lewis Smith, who is actually the youngest referee in the Premier League this season. He was 30 when he took charge of the Fulham Aston Villa game not long ago. Now he's refereeing the biggest game in League 2 of the weekend. As we're underway here, Mansfield go to the far side here, where Elliot Hewitt dinks it down the right-hand side. Header won there for Wrexham from Owen O'Connell, and it's a throw-in for Mansfield, about 10 yards inside the Wrexham half on the far side. It's a throw-in taken quickly. Keeler done into Hewitt, down the line towards Akins, loses out. O'Connell can clear again for Wrexham, chested down by Palmer. Elliot Lee scuffs the clearance and it's volleyed away from Mansfield towards the Wrexham 18-yard box. Another header away there from O'Connell, and it's in the Mansfield possession now with the right back, Elliot Hewitt, who slips on the ball there, taken away from him by McLean, and the last touch comes off the Mansfield player, and that'll be a Wrexham throw-in. But it looks like Elliot Hewitt will be at right back, On screen, he's left back because before his injury in April of last year, he had a run of games at left back, but they put him back to right back as he returns for the first time in just over 11 months. As it's Wrexham on the ball, halfway line, far side. McLean can't quite clear it. It's taken away from him there by Ollie Clark. And the last touch comes off a Wrexham player. And there will be a throw-in for Mansfield just in front of the halfway line on that far side. Not really too much has happened in the opening minute of the game here. As the throw-in goes long towards the 18-yard box, headed away by McLean. Heading forward for Mansfield, drops here to Keeler Dunn, about 22 yards out. Plays it to the left here to Bowery, who's one-on-one hit with Bolton. It's Bowery, the number 9 for Mansfield, on this near side. Finds the number 15 of Aaron Lewis, who on his left foot was thinking about the cross. Decides to go inside to Keeler Dunn instead, who has to keep himself away from Cannon. And Keeler Dunn's been forced all the way back to the halfway line. Good ball here to Flint. Goes in front towards Hewitt. It's a heavy ball, and Hewitt and McLean collide. And the referee blows the whistle. What will be the action here from the referee? It looked like a pretty 50-50 challenge. The ball was there to be won. It wasn't a good pass there from Flint towards the right back of Hewitt. And as both players were chasing for it, McLean went jumping in, so did Hewitt. And it is the Welsh right back who's come out more hurt. McLean's back to his feet. Hewitt has just been returning from an ACL injury. So I'm hoping that's not his issue, because that would be really disappointing for Elliot Hewitt, the 29-year-old who's had to obviously return from that ACL injury. Not really showing a replay at the moment. It is a yellow card for James McLean, who's returning from injury himself. He's missed the last 2 games for Wrexham. James McLean, who was brought in for 250 grand from Wigan, the 34-year-old, shows how much Wrexham want this instant success, forking out £250,000 on a 34-year-old wing-back. But it looks like there may have been a collision in the face for both. Yeah, something must have happened with their heads maybe colliding. Both got bloody lips. Elliot Hewitt and James McLean. So they've had an early pause in the game. Elliot Hewitt, the number 4, is back to his feet, the former Wales under-21 international. So thankfully it looks like there's no serious injuries, just some blood from the lips of both McLean and Hewitt. It will be a Mansfield free kick just on that far side, just inside the Wrexham half. As we're waiting for the restart here at the racecourse. There is the Mansfield manager, Nigel Clough, whose first game in charge of Mansfield was a win against Sunderland when Phil Parkinson was in charge, the current Wrexham boss, as the free kick's eventually taken towards Flint on the edge of the box. Can't head it away. It's headed forward, It's headed away by Cleworth for Wrexham and then cleared by Palmer. As far as Bowery on the halfway line for Mansfield. It is the away team who have started out the better between the two. That's for sure. There's Reed for Mansfield on the halfway line. Sends the ball forward towards Akins, who controls it in the right wing position. The flag stays down here. Akins has got Boyle on his back. Akins still has it. Plays the ball into Reed, who goes towards the left side here. And it's cut out by Cannon, who's looking there for the right winger of Lewis there for Mansfield. As Bolton takes it away from Bowery. Out-muscled too easily. Bolton in the final third on the right-hand side. Crosses the ball in. Flick to the far post. Elliott goes for the overhead kick. And it just lacks the power. Easy save for Christy Pym in the Mansfield goal, who sets off the counter-attack quickly, playing it to the Mansfield right here, with its Keeler done. Plays it into the centre circle here to Aaron Lewis, and it goes to the left back here of Bowery, who just enters the Wrexham half here on the near side. Bowery assessing the options, and goes back to the halfway line to number 24, Lewis Brunt, for Mansfield, on loan from Leicester for the season. Made a couple of first-team appearances for Leicester last season. Brunt, one in the Premier League against Forest and one in the FA Cup against Gillingham, both coming in January. Here he is on the ball, making his 40th appearance of the season. Lewis Brunt in all competitions. It definitely looks like it with Mansfield, the team to have the ball, and Wrexham will be looking to counter as best as possible, as both Hewitt and McLean are back on the pitch there as Flint kicks out of play for Mansfield. Throwing on the near side, about midway side, the Wrexham half. Another short pass, that time by Keeler Dunn, forcing the hurried clearance from Flint, which is flew out of play. And it's now a Wrexham throw-in with Max Cleworth throwing it into the Mansfield half. Can't find Palmer, headed away by Brunt. Back to Cleworth, who heads it forward, chested down by Brunt, who's facing his own goal here. And he'll find his goalkeeper of Pym, who's making his 90th Mansfield appearance since joining permanently in the summer from Peterborough, but also spent last season on loan here, Christy Pym. As the ball goes forward, last touch there off Boyle, and that'll be a Mansfield throw-in, midway side, their own half on the far side. As it's actually Hewitt still receiving treatment here. Just blood coming out from the lips here. There, we didn't see a replay of the challenge, so I'm not quite sure how they collided with each other. Maybe a bit of a head collision as they both slid in, not too sure. But still waiting for Hewitt to come back on. So Mansfield are down to 10 at the moment. As the throwing goes down the line into the Wrexham half. Cleared away by Boyle. Held up here by Palmer, who flicks out to the left there. Controlled by Mullin, who will go back into the Wrexham half with a good pass with Cleworth on the ball now. Restarting there for Wrexham as he enters the Mansfield half on this near side. Finds Luke Bolton, who will drive on the inside away from Bowery. Bolton running in towards the 18-yard box. Goes to his left here to Elliot Lee. Then into the area looking for Palmer. It just goes away from the striker. And it's seen out for a goal kick there by Aaron Lewis. And that'll be a goal kick for Mansfield. Just not quite at it with the passes in the final third at the moment, as that is really, really frustrating for Elliot Hewitt, who has been out with an ACL injury since April. He returned to the bench last week. He's got his first appearance today. And after a collision with James McLean, he's having to be pulled off early. Really big disappointment. So Jordan Bowery, who's currently playing at left back, will go to right back. And Elliot Hewitt will be replaced here by Stephen McLaughlin, who is a left back, 33-year-old, been at the club since September 2020. And he's making just his 22nd appearance of the season. As the goal kick's taken for Mansfield, it's a long ball towards Akins, who touches it inside. It's a brilliant ball here. Swan on the ball for Mansfield, tackled well there by O'Connor, cleared by Lee, up towards Mullin, who's lost out to Flint on halfway. Mansfield back on the ball here with Reed. Ball over the top into the box looking for Akins, headed away by Cleworth, helped away by Cannon to the right wing back of Bolton. And it's Wrexham in possession. They go long up towards Mullin. It's headed away from him by Reed, controlled by McLaughlin, getting his first few touches of the ball here off the bench. The Mansfield left back as he clips it down the left-hand side, headed forward by Cleworth, played inside by Bolton, can't find O'Connor, collected by Keeler Dunn just inside the Wrexham half, in a central area. Keeler Dunn plays it to his right here to Lewis Reed, and out to the right here to Jordan Bowery. Reed again, first time, down the right channel. Akins will chase it. McLean will try and shield it out for a goal kick. It's kicked by Akins off the corner flag and kept in, and Wrexham clear up to the halfway line, but they can't keep possession. Big header away down the right-hand side there by Flint, but Akins was coming back from an offside position, so eventually Wrexham will get that goal kick. So just under 10 minutes in here, and it is Wrexham 0, Mansfield 0 at the moment. No real big chances as of yet. As in the other games in League 2, we've had no goals so far. I'll keep you up to date with any goals scored in the division. As we've got a Wrexham goal kick with Arthur Okonkwo. It goes long into the centre circle, header away for Wrexham by Ollie Clark, controlled by McLean on the far side. His ball inside is short, picked up by Keeler Dunn on halfway. It's now forward towards Akins. His touch just gets away from him, collected, or recollected, should I say, by McLean. It's now with Elliot Lee on the far side for Wrexham. Midway side his own half, can't turn away from Clark. Last touch off Lee as well. Thrown for Mansfield, well won by the central midfielder of Ollie Clark. Making his 199th appearance in League 2, Ollie Clark, a veteran in this division at the age of 31. It'll be a Mansfield throw in here. Jordan Bowery, the right back, is with the ball. He goes short here and gets the return. He plays it down the right-hand side here towards Clark, who can't quite beat Boyle to it. And it will be a Mansfield throw-in right next to the corner flag on this far side. Will Boyle there for Wrexham with the header away. Will they go long with this throw-in, or will they go short again here, Mansfield? They're going to go short with the throw, as it's in the 18-yard box now with Clark, tackled by Lee. And Wrexham need to clear it, and they win a free kick as they try to clear it. Came off the hand of a Mansfield player, and that'll be a free kick there for Wrexham, given by today's referee, Lewis Smith, as the rain just starts to fall in Wales, as both sides have got games coming up very soon. Wrexham have got to travel to Doncaster, and Mansfield host Accrington on Easter Monday. Wrexham play on the Tuesday at Doncaster, as it will be a free kick for Wrexham in the left-back area. Will be taken by the goalkeeper of Okonkwo. As it goes down the left-hand side, it's a high one, up towards Palmer, chests it down, can't find McLean, and that'll be a Mansfield throw, midway side their own half in a right-back position with Jordan Bowery, the 32-year-old, who won the League Two title with Chesterfield back in 2011. He played 27 times in that campaign, almost 13 years ago now. As Wrexham have the ball back with their goalkeeper in the 18-yard box of Arthur Okonkwo, who's been at Arsenal since 2009, since the age of 8. He sends the ball down the Wrexham left towards McLean. Header won by Bowery up to the halfway line now, where it's headed forward for Wrexham. Flicked on by Mullin. Palmer tries to take it on, but he's tackled by Brunt on the edge of the 18-yard box. Great challenge from the number 24 for Mansfield. He clears it low down the right-hand side, chested by Akins, and he brings Reid into play. Mansfield try and build, but it's a strong but fair challenge from Mullin to catch out Reid. It's now Elliot Lee from afar, plays it through for Palmer in the box, tight angle, puts it through into the far post area where it's McLean to try and kick the ball forward. It's a short pass in the end and volleyed away by Bowery for Mansfield. It's headed on by Lewis, can't find Akins, cleared by Cleworth for Wrexham, but it's loose and it drops here for Mansfield, who attack down the right-hand side in the final third here. It's with Aaron Lewis, tries to take on McLean, and he does it successfully. In the box, the cutback's cut out by the number 22 for Wrexham of Thomas O'Connor. And it's a Mansfield corner. Again, no real big chances as of yet, but you can see both sides trying, and you can see how they're trying to get chances at goal. Cut back into the box there. It did look like it may have nicked off the hand of Will Swan, who put the cut back in the box, but it's a corner that's been given in the end. As the cross goes in towards Flint. Header won there by Palmer. Holding up. Tried to hold it up there, Mullin. And he heads it out to the right here towards Bolton, who's then tripped by Will Swan. And in the right back position, that will be a Wrexham free kick. Well won there by Bolton, who did fall to the ground pretty early. Maybe trying to win that free kick, but it's definitely just took the pressure off Wrexham, as Mansfield have been dominating the possession early on. Okonkwo, just on the edge of his 18-yard box, will take the free kick. Since the Mansfield half, it goes over Flint and Palmer, up towards Mullin. Header won by Brunt instead, and then cleared away by Bowery, taking no risks there. And it goes all the way through to Okonkwo in the Wrexham 18-yard box. Shows how much of a big clearance that was from Bowery. As Wrexham play it to the halfway line here to Elliot Lee. Tackle fairly there by Clark, but won back by O'Connor. And then Clark again, winning the ball off Lee and taking the throw in quickly to Akins. Touches it forward for Keeler Dunn. 10 yards inside the Wrexham half in a central area. Keeler Dunn plays it to the left here to McLaughlin, who plays it down the line here for Lewis. Onto his right foot. Lays it off to McLaughlin, who crosses it to the far post towards Akins, who heads it inside, and it's cleared by Lee away from Swab. But only as far as Clark on the right-hand side for Mansfield. So they'll just come again here, the away side, who've had a really positive opening 15 minutes here at the race course, as Clark gets caught out in possession and Wrexham can try and counter-attack. They're still inside their own half on the far side. It's with McLean playing it backwards here to O'Connor. Then first time ball forward. It's a loop ball volleyed away by Flint. Out for a throw-in on halfway for Wrexham. On that far side. Bit of a panicked clearance there. It must be said by Aidan Flint, the 34-year-old, brought in on a free in the summer from Stoke after spending the back end of last season on loan with Sheffield Wednesday, who were promoted to the Championship through the playoffs. He has actually won the League Two title before, Aidan Flint, with Swindon back in 2012. As Wrexham have given it away from the throw-in. It's now back with Mansfield in their own half with the right centre-back of Aidan Flint. He goes across to the goal, to the left centre-back of Lewis Brunt, who's playing his first full season in the Football League this time. As Flint clips it down the right-hand side. Header won there for Wrexham by O'Connell. And it'll be a Mansfield throw, midway side the Wrexham half on the far side. Quickly taken by Bowery into Clark, who's got Lee on his back. But Flint takes over, kicks it off Lee. Throwing again for Mansfield. As the away side didn't lose any of their first 17 games this season. They won 9 of them and drew 8. They've drawn a lot of games this season. Mansfield 13 altogether from their 39. A third of their games have been draws. As McLean kicks it off Akins and in a left-back position. That'll be a Wrexham throw-in. Be taken by the number 25 of Will Boyle, who's a left-footed centre-back, making his 170th League Two appearance. Will Boyle won the League Two title not too long ago with Cheltenham back in 2021. As Barrow lead at home to Grimsby. So Barrow are now on 67 points. That's the same points as MK Dons at the start of the day. As Boyle's throwing, headed forward by Clark. Headed away though by O'Connor for Wrexham. Then played in behind for Mullin to chase it. Brunt will get there first, but he gets pickpocketed by Mullin in a left wing position. Mullin has it just outside the area. Tackled by Flint. Drops to McLean. Down the left-hand side. Onto his right foot towards the corner flag. McLean just is out-muscled there by Bowery. And Mansfield can clear it long into the Wrexham half here, where it's a good chested touch down there by O'Connell. And he goes back towards Okonkwo, who will get there ahead of Will Swan. And plays it forward to O'Connor. And out to the right towards Cleworth. It's a sloppy pass straight out of play. And that is a Mansfield throw-in on this near side. Midway side the Wrexham half. Poor giveaway there by Thomas O'Connor. Irish central midfielder. Came through at Southampton. Before leaving Southampton for Burton. And finding his new home 2 years ago here at Wrexham. There's Boyle for Wrexham. Clears up to the halfway line. Took on though beautifully here by Reid for Mansfield. 25 yards out. Just to the right hand side here. He goes backwards to keep possession here with Bowery. And then back to the halfway line to keep possession here with Flint. Switches it to the left to McLaughlin, but it'll be cut out by the head of Bolton, whose header forward drops to the centre half of Mansfield of Brunt. And it's back in possession of the away side here with McLaughlin. Low ball forward to Keeler Dunn, who can't quite keep it away from Ollie Palmer, who has it for Wrexham, finds Bolton, skips beyond one challenge and plays it into Cannon. It's now with O'Connell. And Wrexham are back in possession. Out to the far side here to McLean. 15 yards inside the Mansfield half. Goes down the line for Elliot Lee. Keeps it away from Flint. Here's Lee on the ball. Running forward. Nudged to the ground there by Bowery. And it's enough for a free kick according to the referee. Wasn't a lot of contact there on Elliot Lee, but enough to send him to the ground and enough for the referee to give a free kick in Wrexham's favour. And Elliot Lee has been unbelievable this season for Wrexham. He's got 15 goals this season in League Two. 1 in his last 9, but still an amazing amount of goals to score from central midfield. And in the final third on the Wrexham left, it'll be a free kick to be delivered in. Plenty of bodies in there for Wrexham as it's a lower one towards McLean at the near post, straight off the Irishman and behind for a goal kick. Don't want to say it was a waste for Wrexham, but they certainly could have done slightly better with that as Wrexham try and take it quick. Mansfield try and take it quickly, but Wrexham are on it with their centre half of Max Cleworth to intercept, and they send it forward here. Wrexham towards Mullin on the edge of the box. Good control, sent out to the left wing position as he slips here, Mullin, and he's been tackled by Brunt, who will clear it down the Mansfield right. It's not gone very far, but it has been headed on by Keeler Dunn, and Akins is brought down by Boyle, and that'll be a free kick just inside the Mansfield half here, given away by Will Boyle. 28-year-old for Wrexham. Let's go Wrexham. We've got a Wrexham fan in the chat. What score predictions have we got for this game? It is a huge one in the League 2 title race in the automatic spots. Looks like Mullin may have just been slightly caught there on his hip as he slipped to the ground. It wasn't intentional by Brunt, who may have just trodden on him by accident. As Wrexham have it with a throw-in. Mansfield have it, sorry, with a throw-in. Midway side their own half. It will be taken by number 3, early substitute of Stephen McLaughlin, who had to replace Elliot Hewitt, who suffered a bloody mouth and couldn't quite get back onto the pitch. I think Stockport County have taken the lead. Camps with an absolute thunderbolt for Stockport County. Laid lead away at bottom side Forest Green. So as it stands at the moment, it is Mansfield and Stockport County who are level at the top of the league. Mansfield still top on goal difference, but they have the same amount of points as Stockport County, who also have a game in hand on them. So it's looking like that top spot could be leaving Mansfield very shortly. Not a scoreline they wanted to see. Stockport County remain in the goal-scoring form, picking up where they left off last week, scoring 5 against MK Dons. As Mansfield look to go and get this clear, headed forward by Cannon. Nodded down, though, by Reid to McLaughlin for Mansfield. His clearance comes off Bolton into the 18-yard box. It's bouncing around. Mullin will take it off Flint, but then he's tackled by Bowery. But as Flint was knocked to the ground by Mullin, it's seen as a foul by the referee, and it'll be a free kick for Mansfield. I think that's a bit soft. Aidan Flint is 6'6", and he is an absolute giant. So I think he's gone down a little bit too softly there, but he's won the free kick. In fairness, a bit of a shoulder in the back. I can see why the referee's given it. And it's a free kick for Mansfield. And Mansfield did do the league double over Stockport County, who are currently second in the league. Beat them at home 3-2 in late August, and beat them on New Year's Day at Edgeley Park by 2-0. As Mansfield have it on this near side here with Lewis back into the Mansfield half with Brunt on the ball. Got Mullin in front of him. Finds Lewis again, the number 15 for Newport. Curls it out to the right-hand side here to Bowery, the right-back. Still inside his own half. Forced backwards by the press of McLean here to Flint. Then forward to Reid. He's keeping it away from Mullin at the moment. Then curling it out to the right. It's a great ball by Reid. Mansfield look to attack. Ball inside here to Keeler. 22 yards out from goal. On his weaker left foot, he goes to shoot. It's blocked there by Cleworth. And that'll roll out for a Mansfield corner on the near side. No, it won't. It'll be kept in by Luke Bolton for Wrexham, the former Salford winger. And he's cleared up the field, deflects off Reid, and it's a throw-in on this near side for Wrexham. Not a bad attempt there by Keeler. Good block, though, for Wrexham. And it was a corner, which was avoided in the end by Luke Bolton, who came through the Manchester City Academy, was actually born in Stockport. Luke Bolton, the team they're currently clashing with for this automatic promotion. As the throw goes down the line for Wrexham, headed forward by McLaughlin, headed back forward by Cannon for Wrexham. Flint beats Palmer to it aerially. Then Reid sends it over the top here for Mansfield. It'll be given chase to by Swan, but asking a lot of him there, throwing in the defensive third for Wrexham. It'll be taken by their number 32 of Max Cleworth, who is making his 90th Wrexham appearance, joined the club in 2014. This is his first minutes. Max Cleworth against Mansfield, hasn't featured in the previous two. As he sends this throwing down the line. Headed won by Flint. Chested down by Akins. Headed backwards by O'Connor. Straight to Will Swan, who takes it away from O'Connell. But then they're on the cover. Boyle heads the ball away. And it'll be a corner this time for Mansfield on the near side. Bit of a sloppy header there by Thomas O'Connor. And it was picked up by Will Swan, who could hook it over the head of O'Connell. And it was dealt with, though, eventually by Boyle. But it's a set piece for Mansfield, and they've got plenty of height in there. They've got Akins at 6'1", Lewis at 6 foot, Brunt at 6'2", Flint at 6'6". Goes to the far post towards Flint, who heads it down. It needs to be cleared, and eventually it is by Palmer on the penalty spot. And it's a long clearance, and it's going to trickle out of play just inside the Mansfield half on the far side. It's definitely been the away side on top. 25 minutes in, we're still really yet to have a big moment in the game, really. As a throw-in's taken towards Akins, who prods it back towards Bowery. Last touch comes off McLean, and that'll be another Mansfield throw-in. Just on the halfway line. As Wrexham have kept 4 clean sheets in the last 15 games in League 2. And all of those clean sheets have come at home. So they are becoming stronger defensively at the racecourse. As McLean, midway side zone half, far side, clears it forward towards Palmer, cut out by Bowery, who has it for Mansfield. Goes backwards to the halfway line to Reed, quickly curls it to the left here to McLaughlin, who's got Bolton chasing him. He's been forced to go backwards through the press of Bolton, and it's now in the 18-yard box for Mansfield with Pym. Goes to his right centre-back here of Aidan Flint on the edge of the 18-yard box. Brings it forward 5 yards and finds right back Bowery. Back into Flint. First time clearance. Goes forward. Goes over Akins and away from Swan. And it's now back with Wrexham in their 18-yard box. Almost worked that. I think Akins was trying to control it, but it just went beyond him and it nearly fell for Swan very nicely. As Wrexham clear long up towards Mullin. Midway side of the Mansfield half. Headed away by Flint. As he drops towards Akins, who flicks it on for Swan, who's in behind in the box right-hand side. Can he work the shot? He can, but it's well blocked by Cleworth. The angle was tight, and it'll be a Mansfield corner on the far side. Well dealt with there by Max Cleworth. As the header forward by Flint was flicked on by Akins, and it was a half opening there for Swan, but nothing that can challenge the Wrexham goalkeeper of Arthur Okonkwo. As we're going to get another corner. Outswinger towards the penalty spot. Header won by Palmer for Wrexham. As far as Reed on the edge of the area, who's coming back from an onside position. He puts the ball in to the near post. Headed forward by McLean. Helped on by O'Connor. Headed on again for Wrexham by Bolton this time. And he'll roll out for a throw-in for Mansfield. Good start from the away side. But they've got to make this count. They are limiting Wrexham to very few chances so far, as this is Wrexham's 50th game of the season in all competitions. They've played 39 in League 2, now 40. They've played 4 in the FA Cup, 4 in the EFL Trophy, played twice in the League Cup, and this is Mansfield's 48th game, so just the 2-game difference. As Mansfield have it on the halfway line with Lewis Reed. Finds his centre-back here of Brunt, who brings it forward, away from Palmer, in the centre circle. Brunt still has it, plays it forward. Cut out, though, well by O'Connell, who'll stride forward himself from centre-back. Wrexham wants to counter. Not got much pace up there with him as he tries to play it to the left. It deflects off Brunt, and it's back with Mansfield as it's cleared with their goalkeeper, Pym. It's a low clearance. It's a ball that bullets all the way through into the edge of the Wrexham box, where Cleworth plays it back to his goalkeeper, Okonkwo, who just kicks the ball out of play for a Mansfield throw-in. Just seems a little bit edgy from Wrexham. Maybe that's because they're at home, feeling a little bit more pressure. I'm not too sure, but it's not been the greatest of first half an hours of football here for Wrexham. Mansfield seem very settled on the ball, and they seem very calm as well. Mansfield, who are spending their 10th successive season in League 2. The last time they were in League 1 was in 2001-2002 season. They just finished outside the playoffs last season. It was quite heartbreaking. They finished 1 goal difference behind Salford, who took that final playoff spot. But they are well and truly beyond the playoffs this time around. They are aiming for the League 2 title. The last time they won the 4th tier title of English football, Mansfield, was back in 1975. But I don't think Mansfield will mind too much if they win the league or not. I think as long as they are promoted, I think they'll take it. As Mansfield were looking for a free kick there for Akins, but it wasn't given by the referee. It's now with Wrexham on this near side with Luke Bolton, midway side of the Mansfield half. He's got Mullin forward. Bolton tries to take it on his own, and he will do so very nicely, and eventually finds Mullin in the right wing position. Crosses. It's got pace on it. McLean volleys with his right foot, and it bounces into the ground and into the hands of Christy Pym for Mansfield, who wants to set the counter-attack off, but there's no real option there for him, so he just keeps hold of the ball. Really good runner with the ball, Luke Bolton. And he almost overran it, but he was able to find Mullin, who peeled out to the right-hand side. Wasn't the greatest of crosses, really, from Mullin. I think it had just a bit too much pace on it. McLean couldn't quite divert a dangerous shot on goal, as Mansfield's passes are short again. Flint just about gets there across the 18-yard box. The pass from Brunt was a little short. Pym clears it for Wrexham. For Mansfield, sorry. Right for a Wrexham throwing on halfway. This is Wrexham on the ball, with their central midfielder of O'Connor. Back into the central centre-back of O'Connell. And out to the right centre-back of Cleworth. Goes beyond the halfway line here. Plays the ball forward here to Bolton. He one-on-one with McLaughlin. Goes back here to O'Connor. And it's now with O'Connell in the centre circle here for Wrexham. Their number 15. Making his 100th League 2 appearance of his career. the 28-year-old, who was brought in January of last year from Charlton. It's now with Boyle at left centre-back, still in the Wrexham half. He goes forward here, finds Palmer nicely, flicks it towards Elliot Lee, goes beyond him but can't be collected by Cannon. Dealt with well by Mansfield, who clears it forward towards Keeler Dunn, beyond him and towards Swan. Can it be dealt with here by Boyle? It just about is. Heads it to his left here to O'Connell. And Wrexham clear down their left-hand side here with Cannon. Can't quite keep the ball there. As it looks like we've got an MK Dons goal against Walsall. So MK Dons are now winning. And that puts them on 70 points. One behind Wrexham, who are currently on 71 with this point at the moment. So it's Mansfield first with 74, Stockport County second with 74, Wrexham third with 71, MK Dons fourth with 70 points, and Barrow fifth on 67. As Mansfield go long, straight up to the hands of Okonkwo. Can't reach Akins. And Wrexham will bring it forward with Cleworth. Forward, through the gaps. It's a brilliant ball. Cannon, final third, pulls it across all the way through, and it's in by Paul Mullin. 6 yards out, the first real opportunity of the game, and it's taken, and it's scored by Wrexham's captain of Paul Mullin. He scored against them in the last meeting in the FA Cup first round. And he scored against them again, this time in the league. And it is a huge goal for the team in red. It's such a good pass by Cleworth from the back, right in between McLaughlin and Lewis of Mansfield. And it found Cannon in the right wing position, pulled it across. Wasn't the greatest of balls, but it was missed by Brunt, who went to swing at it, completely missed it for Mansfield. It worked its way through to Mullin, and it's criminal defending, leaving a striker like Mullin all on his own, who from 6 yards out kicked it towards goal. Wasn't necessarily in the corner, but it was away from the goalkeeper to find the back of the net. And 32 and a half minutes in here, it is Wrexham 1, Mansfield 0. What a huge goal that is for the automatic promotion race and the league title race as well. It's Wrexham's first real chance. They've been starved of opportunities at the Mansfield goal. But when you've got strikers like Mullin, it only takes them one opportunity, and that'll be enough for them to get on the score sheet. And that is Paul Mullin's 17th goal of the season in the league. He's now got 7 in his last 7. He's hitting goal-scoring form, Paul Mullin. He scored a beauty of a goal in their last game against Grimsby. He made that 3-0. This time he's making the game 1-0. As that means Stockport County, with a game in hand, go 1 point clear at the top. Mansfield and Wrexham are now on the same points, both on 73. As Wrexham goes towards the edge of the box here to Mullin. Will it drop for him? It'll be cleared by Brunt in the end. Beyond the halfway line. Up towards Akins. It's headed forward by O'Connor. Dealt with by McLaughlin. Towards Akins, who loses out to Cleworth. And it's now with Wrexham in the centre circle here with O'Connor. As it looks like they've got their tails up here, Wrexham. With McLean on the far side. Driving inside. Then looking back out wide. Finding Elliot Lee. Touch isn't great and it's taken off him. And Mansfield look to attack. Clark. Finding Swan. On the right wing. It's a heavy touch forward. Can he get around O'Connor? He can. But he can't get away from the tackle of O'Connell. And that'll be a Mansfield throw. And the away side will be frustrated. So much of the possession, but not really doing a lot with it. And they find themselves behind here at the racecourse. As they've got a throw in. Midway side, the Wrexham half. On that far side, it'll be taken by Bowery. Down the line for Keeler Dunn. He holds the ball up. Plays it back to Bowery. Clark forward to Akins. Right hand side of the box. Back to goal. Finds Keeler Dunn. He's got Cannon chasing him down. He's been forced to play back here to Flint. Attack still alive as Flint delivers it into the box. Header won by Boyle for Wrexham. All as far as Reed for Mansfield as they take it to the near side. McLaughlin, early cross. He dinks it to the far post, but it's hung up there nicely for an easy catch there for Arthur Okonkwo. And it's Wrexham back on possession with just over 10 minutes left to play this first half. Just 2 defeats in their last 10 in the league for Wrexham. That came away at Gillingham at the end of February and at home to Tranmere on the 16th of March. Their last home game, in fact, was that defeat to Tranmere, where they failed to score. But Mullin, who scored the goal, is Wrexham's top goal scorer in the league this season. That's his 12th at home in the league. And that's probably the biggest one so far for Paul Mullin, who scored 2 hat-tricks this season against Morecambe in Accrington. The Accrington hat-trick came earlier this month. As a Conquo's clearance is poor, cut out midway side the Wrexham half here by Keeler Dunn. It's now Akins, finds Keeler Dunn again, 25 yards out, left-footed strike. He gets tackled from behind as he struck the ball, but it was deflected away by McLean, and it'll be a corner kick on the near side for Mansfield. Poor clearance with the left foot of a Conquo as he was close down there, as he was clearing the ball. As Keeler Dunn went to strike, he got the shot away, but it deflected off McLean. And that'll be a set piece here for Mansfield, who will want an equaliser before the break. It's an in-swinger to the far post. It's a dangerous one, and Flint heads towards goal. Wide it goes, recollected by Keeler Dunn, who's remained onside. He'll put it in low, touched by Brunt, shot blocked, drops to Lewis from the edge of the box. And it just curls wide. So close to going inside the far post there by Aaron Lewis. Keeler Dunn on the second time put it low towards Brunt, who tried to touch and shoot. The touch wasn't great. The shot wasn't much better. Deflected off Lee. Dropped there for Lewis, who struck it first time and threw a vast amount of bodies. He somehow got it all the way through, and it just went wide. That is the closest Mansfield have come to a goal, and that's come through Aaron Lewis. So close for the Welshman. He's played for multiple Welsh clubs in his career, joined from Newport, and came through at Swansea for 12 years. Aaron Lewis, who wins a free kick just inside his own half there, pulled back by Luke Bolton. But here's Wrexham who lead. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Does help the channel out. We've got a commentary coming tomorrow, 5:30. Aston Villa take on Wolves. Then we've got a commentary on Sunday, Liverpool against Brighton. And we've also got commentary on Monday as well, as it is Leeds taking on Hull City. So plenty to be looking forward to over the Easter weekend. As there's the Mullin goal. Cleworth in his own half, bringing it forward, not being closed down from right centre-back and playing a beautiful ball through in between Lewis and McLaughlin, and Cannon put the cross in. Bit scuffed, wasn't great, but Brunt missed the clearance, went through the legs of Flint and straight to Mullin, who couldn't get the shot away ahead of Bowery, who tried to come across to block the shot. And Mullin scores for Wrexham once again. It's his 98th goal for the club. 2 more for Mullin, and he hits that 100 mark. Signed a new deal at the start of this year, extending his contract to the club till 2027. Joined on a free from Cambridge in July 2021. Scored 47 in all competitions last season, Paul Mullin. But still no shots on target for Mansfield as they send it long down the left-hand side to Akins. Heads it into the area towards Swan. Kicked away, though, by O'Connell. Headed on by Cannon for Wrexham. Mullin gets it away from McLaughlin, but then Palmer can't quite keep it for Wrexham. On halfway line now with Mansfield with Reed towards Keeler Dunn. Touch is poor, and it's taken away by Lee, who's been pulled down there by Mansfield's number 8 of Ollie Clark. And it will be a free kick for Wrexham on the halfway line. It's not pretty football for Wrexham, but it works, and it's effective, and it's got them right in there for the automatic promotion spots as they send the free kick long, headed on by Palmer into the 18-yard box here for Mullin. Plays it inside, can't find the runner McLean, dealt with by Reed, cleared by Reed for Mullin, for Wrexham, and it is a header away there by O'Connell ahead of Akins, and it's a throw-in on halfway for Mansfield on that far side. They switch out to the left here to McLaughlin. Nods it down midway side the Mansfield half here for the centre-back Brunt, who's got loads of time on the ball. And they've played it back out to the right here to Bowery. Inside to Reed. First time ball round the corner. Headed forward by McLean. Touched down by Lee. Can't quite keep it in. And that'll be a Mansfield throw-in just inside the Wrexham half. Just in front of the 2 technical areas on the far side. Reed gives it back to Bowery from the throw-in. Finds Clark, then back into the Mansfield half to keep possession here with Brunt. And Mansfield keep up the pattern of the play that have been occurring in the opening 40 minutes, where it's been Mansfield primarily on the ball, and Wrexham looking for those counter-attacks and those long ball forward. That's with the left-back McLaughlin on this near side, beyond the halfway line. Finds a ball to his right here, to Keeler Dunn. Then out to the right it goes here to Bowery. He's not got a lot of support. Goes forward to Akins, who has to hold the ball up away from Boyle, and lays it off here, and the cross goes in, but again, it's too well hung up there. Easy catch in the end for Arthur Okonkwo. He's having a pretty easy game in goal at the moment. Not had to face a shot on target yet. Had to come and collect a couple of crosses. But he'll definitely take it so far. The loanee from Arsenal. As they go forward, find Mullen on halfway. Holds it up against Brunt. Goes out to the left. It's now with McLean. Back to Lee. Around the corner. Can he find the run of Mullen? He's found himself in behind. And he's kept himself onside. Flint clears it. He deflects off Mullen, and that'll be a throw in for Mansfield. As we look around the ground, Stockport County are now 2-0 up away at Forest Green. Barrow are 2-0 up against Grimsby. MK Dons are 1-0 up at MK Dons, so it's not a brilliant look for Mansfield. Everyone is winning around them at the moment. As a header away on halfway by Cleworth, down the Wrexham left, dealt with by Clark for Mansfield. As he looks for Swan, header won by Boyle this time. Palmer goes for it, can't bring it down. Picked up by Reed, who takes on Lee. Out to the Mansfield right here. Keeler done to Bowery. High ball down the right. Swan will chase it. Boyle will head away. And he'll go for a Wrexham free kick, because there was a push in the back there on McLean by Davis. Keeler done. And it's a free kick for Wrexham, who are wanting to try and see this lead out until half-time. As both teams, after 39 League 2 games, have won 20. But Wrexham have lost 9 and Mansfield have only lost the 6 so far. And for Mansfield, 4 of those 6 defeats have come away from home. Most recently to Tranmere. But also losing as well to Newport. To Walsall, this year. And Wimbledon. So they've lost a couple of times away from home since the turn of the year. There's Akins there, heavy touch, just leaving a late one there on Luke Bolton on the halfway line on the Wrexham right. Don't think he's been yellow carded. I think a bit of a warning as Wrexham switch out towards the left-hand side. Header won by Clark for Mansfield. Swan will chase it, it'll run out of play. Wrexham throwing on the halfway line. It'll be taken by the number 23 of James McLean, who scored 4 times for Wrexham this season. 3 of them in League 2, 2 in the last 6 that he's played in. This is his first ever experience of League 2 football for James McLean. As he throws this one down the line towards Palmer. Not dealt with well by Flint. Palmer gets the ball from Mullen, but it's taken away from him there, and it's cleared for Mansfield in the 18-yard box. That's all the way to the halfway line on the Wrexham right here with Bolton. Goes back to Cleworth. And then across to his centre-back partner of O'Connell, who will take it away from Akins. And plays it to the left to Boyle. On his left foot, clears it high, down the line. Header away by Flint. Helped on by Keeler Dunn, or as far as Boyle, who heads it forward for McLean. Sends it into the sky here for Palmer. On the edge of the 18-yard box. Palmer controls it, but it's a loose one. And just sliced away by Brunt for Mansfield. And sliced backwards by Bowery. I don't know how he's done that. Drops for McLean. He's got to take on Bowery now. McLean's kept it. Goes backwards here to Elliot Lee. Then inside to Cannon. Returns it to Lee. On the ball, Elliot Lee's tripped from behind. And that'll be a free kick. About 25 yards out. Just to the left-hand side. So an angle for a right footer. Cards have been dished out here by the referee. It was Ollie Clark, the one who tripped Elliot Lee. He can hit them from afar. Wrexham's number 38. And Ollie Clark wasn't allowing that to happen. Tripped Wrexham's 29-year-old. And it'll be a free kick for Wrexham. This would be a real kick in the teeth for Mansfield if they concede right before half-time. We've got 3 minutes of added on time here at the racecourse. Wrexham lead by a goal to nil. They've definitely grown into the game, Wrexham. Started off rather slow, but they've got themselves in front and they want to try and double the lead if possible. Thomas O'Connor and Paul Mullin are the two players stood over it here for Wrexham. Looks like it'll be Mullin to take it. About 28 yards out. He's going to go for it, and that balloons over the crossbar. Even from the run-up, he just never looked like he was confident of hitting the target there, Mullin, which is surprising with the fact he scored today and he's now got 7 in his last 7 games. But yeah, just never looked convinced of himself there that he was going to put that on target, and it's resulted in a Mansfield goal kick, which they clip out towards the right back. Bowery chests it down nicely, takes it forward, has to turn backwards away from Mullin, and finds Reid about 10 yards away from the halfway line. Goes across to his left there to Lewis Brunt. Now to the near side here to McLaughlin for Mansfield. Lifts it over Bolton. Down the left-hand side. Can't be kept in though by Keeler-Dunn. Free kick for Wrexham. Just looks like the home side have really nullified the Mansfield danger points. Like Keeler-Dunn's not getting a lot of joy in this half. And they've not allowed Lewis Reid and Ollie Clark, the two central midfielders, to really control the game. Cleworth throwing down the line, headed forward by Flint for Mansfield. Helped forward by a volley from Cannon towards the corner flag on that near side. Touch behind for a Wrexham throw towards the final third here. As we've got just over a minute left of the 3 added on at the end of this first half. Where a Mullin goal separates the two at the moment. Bolton gets the return from Cannon from the throw-in. Bolton tries to play a pass backwards, but straight to Keeler-Dunn. Could there be a counter-attack on here for Mansfield? Bolton trying to make up for his error, but Keeler-Dunn keeps it away from him and then goes backwards, but then loses it, but he's caught as he passes it. And it's a Mansfield free kick there. Keeler-Dunn almost getting caught out. I think he was quite thankful for the foul on him there because his pass was given away. They're taking it quickly. It's in the Mansfield half here with number 24, Lewis Brunt, who came through at Aston Villa before leaving for Leicester, in which his club is now. Made 4 senior appearances for Leicester. Now on loan at Mansfield. As the away side have got the ball with Keeler-Dunn. Keeps it away from Palmer. It's now Reid. Tackle by Palmer on the halfway line. And Elliot Lee's ball through towards Mullins, cut out by Flint. Good defending, and Flint ball down the right-hand side will be given chase to by Swan. Headed forward by Boyle. Mansfield send it back forward as Swan collides into Boyle. I think it'll just be a throw-in. But Swan has stayed down here for Mansfield as he collided with Will Boyle. They've already had to have one player down and out and subbed off through a collision. It was very early on. The returning Elliot Hewitt collided with James McLean. He couldn't continue, but they're hoping that Will Swan can continue. Spent 9 years of his youth at Nottingham Forest, Will Swan, making 2 senior appearances in the 2020-2021 season. As we've not quite got the half-time whistle yet, we still have about 20 seconds left to play before this slight pause of play. But Will Swan is back to his feet. And as is required treatment, he'll have to just depart to the sideline. Probably for the remaining parts of this first half. So it'll be Bowery to take the throw. Finds Clark. Back to Bowery through the legs of Lee. And then almost got it through the legs of McLean. Just deflects off his back leg. Out for another throw-in taken by Bowery. Keeler-Dunn keeps it away from one Wrexham player and a second through help by Clark. Bowery lifts it in towards Keeler-Dunn, who was getting down the right-hand side, but the referee sees fit to blow the first half whistle. And after the first 48 minutes of the first half, it is Wrexham who lead by a goal to nil. It was a beautifully played ball down the right-hand side by the centre-back of Max Cleworth, who found Cannon, who just drifted out to the right-wing position. And in the final third, he played it across. It was a little bit scuffy, but I think that's what avoided the attempted clearance by Brunt. Went right beyond the young centre-back and threw for Mullin, 6 yards out, all alone. Kicked it towards goal, went beyond the Mansfield goalkeeper, Christy Pym, and it gave Wrexham a lead. And they've definitely grown into the game. Mansfield started off better, having 60% of the possession so far. Mansfield have worked 7 shots on at goal, but none of them have been on target. And from around the halfway stage of the first half, Wrexham have definitely grown into the game and have looked a lot better than they did in the first half of the first half. And here at the racecourse, after the first half, it is Wrexham 1, Mansfield 0. Despite Mansfield having 7 shots, they've had one big chance, and that was when they were 1-0 down. It was Aaron Lewis with a shot from the edge of the box, curling towards the bottom right corner. It just didn't curl in enough for him. That was Mansfield's biggest chance. And for Wrexham, they've had 5 shots, 3 on target. They've not had many clear-cut, obvious chances, really, other than the goal. They've not worked Christy Pym that much. He's had to have, I think he had to make a save from a shot from long range, but nothing. There's not been many big chances, really, despite both teams having decent amount of shots on goal. They've been from either afar or they've been just pop shots. So not been a lot of highlights in this first half, but the biggest highlight of the ball is Wrexham leading by a goal to 0. Paul Mullin with the goal. Scored against them in November in the FA Cup first round, where Wrexham came out victorious by 2-1. Hi from Canada, that's crazy. People from Canada watching. Come on, Stags, I remember 68 v West Ham. Wow, you're a lot older than I am, that's for sure. Yeah, we've got a Let's Go Wrexham as well. But yeah, it's we'll have a look at the table. As for Mansfield, we mentioned it before, but it's not a great look for them. Everyone around them is winning pretty much here for Mansfield. Stockport County are at the top of the league now, as they are winning 2-0 away at Forest Green. Obviously, Mansfield are second, losing. They're on 73 points. Wrexham, who are obviously winning, they're on 73 points as well. MK Dons, who are in 4th, they're winning by a goal to 0. They're on 70 points. And Barrow in 5th are also winning on 67. So not amazing for Mansfield, the fact that everyone around them are winning at half-time, but they've got another 45 minutes to try and turn this game around for Mansfield. They've definitely been able to knock the ball around here at the racecourse, but it's not created too many clear-cut opportunities, which will have to change if they want anything from this game. I'm going to quickly just go and get something to eat very quickly. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll discuss the other results in the other games in the other league, so make sure you stick around. If you do go, make sure you come back in around 15 minutes for the second half of Wrexham Mansfield, as it's currently 1-0 at half-time. Right, we're back. As we've obviously just gone through the league table and the current results, I think definitely off the back end of that first half, Wrexham probably do deserve the lead. I think sometimes it can be a bit deceiving, the possession stats and stuff like that, because yes, Mansfield have probably looked the better team, because like I've mentioned before, Wrexham's football is pretty ugly, but it works. so you can't hold it against them. But they've just done very little with it. I think, like I say, it can just be quite deceiving style of plays and how it can make you look better than maybe you actually are at times in a game. And I think that's the case with Mansfield. They've had more of the ball, but I think Wrexham have just been a bit more pragmatic, and they've got the rewards for that. Got the first goal of the game, and who knows, it might be the only goal. It could be the match winner. Not too sure. As of course, these two teams are both on highs at the moment in terms of looking for promotion. It does look likely that they'll both be in League One next season. Obviously, we can't know that for sure, but they are definitely two teams who are looking good for automatic promotion. But even if they don't go up automatically, they'll probably be the favourites for the playoffs. But these two teams were both relegated out of the Football League at the same time. In the 07-08 season, they were both relegated from League 2. Wrexham finished bottom on 24th and Mansfield in 23rd. It's just amazing how much can change in, I say very little time. It was 16 years ago when they were both relegated, but, it's been a longer journey for Wrexham. This is their first season out of the National League since that relegation. For Mansfield, like I say, they've been in League 2 now since the 14-15 season, but, it's not always been positive and the sun shining over these two clubs. They've had negative moments in recent history, but looks like they're on a up. They are on a up, both teams, which is fantastic to see. Like I say, for Wrexham, it would be back-to-back promotions. For Mansfield, it would be their first League One campaign since the 01-02 season. So that would be it's been quite the time they've been stuck in these 4th and 5th tier of English football, Mansfield. As the second half will be getting underway shortly. Hope you are enjoying this live commentary. Make sure you check out the next 3 we've got over this Easter weekend. Like I say, 2 of them are rolling across screen at the minute. Tomorrow we've got Aston Villa Wolves at 5:30, and then Liverpool Brighton on the Sunday at 2 o'clock. Covering 3 of the 4 top leagues in the English divisions this weekend. 2 in the Premier League, 1 in the Championship, then covering this huge battle in League 2, which at the moment sees Wrexham on top, and it could just cause a bit of doubt in the Mansfield minds, who aren't in brilliant form. They've won just 5 of their last 10. 3 defeats in those 10 against Tranmere, MK Dons and Walsall. Their biggest win of the season, you may have heard about it. I'm surprised if you haven't heard about it. Mansfield's biggest win of the season was 9-2 at home to Harrogate, who aren't a bad side, which I know sounds stupid, but they're mid-table in League 2. Harrogate are a good outfit. But yeah, they beat them 9-2 on the 13th of February. It was their first 9-2 win for Mansfield since December 1932 against Rotherham. Bit of research there. So yeah, it was their first 9-2 win for, I think, just over 90 years. So doesn't happen often, wins like that, but it was a fantastic win for them. But it just seems like they've not really been able to kick on too much since then. It's just been a bit hit and miss, and that's the form for nearly every team up there in League 2. They've all struggled, really. None of the teams in the playoff spots you can really say are in great form. I mean, Barrow are unbeaten in their last 5 here with 3 wins, but every team up there are dropping points here and there. It's no team's really taking this league by the scruff of the neck and, making it their own and winning that title for themselves. They're almost just hobbling over the finish line, all the teams so far. It's just who will hobble over quicker. And at the moment, it's Stockport County who lead the division, and then it's Mansfield second and Wrexham third on the same point, 73. That is 1 point behind Stockport County, who are top. And then in terms of the top 3 spots, the 4th team is MK Dons, and they are on 70 points, 3 points behind Mansfield and Wrexham. But MK Dons have played an extra game, so that gap could become 6. So if Mansfield and Wrexham win that game in hand that they've got on MK Dons, then maybe a bit of a gap starts to emerge. There's not many games left of the campaign. After today, these two sides have got 6 games left For Wrexham, they've got Doncaster and Colchester back-to-back away from home before returning to the racecourse on the 9th of April, where they take on Crawley, who are just inside the playoffs at the moment. And then for Mansfield, they've got 3 home games on the bounce, which could really see them over the line for automatic promotion. If they could pick up 9 points at home from those 3 games, then that could really see them through into League One. They've got Accrington on Easter Monday, then next Saturday they've got Crawley, and then they've got Forest Green in the midweek after that. So 3 favourable fixtures. Accrington at the moment are just below mid-table. Crawley, as we mentioned, will be slightly difficult. They're just inside the playoffs, but then Forest Green, who are currently bottom of the league. So it'd definitely be 3 games, Mansfield, where out of the 9 points, they'll definitely want to take a minimum of 7, I think. I don't think they'd want to lose any of those 3, especially at home, and where they've only lost twice at home this season. As the second half will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time now, where I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out, if Mansfield can really start creating some dangerous opportunities. As for Wrexham, they actually they nearly went 100% in the league at home last season, which sounds impressive, and it is, but obviously with the investment, because the numbers came out yesterday, if you look on Twitter, Wrexham's financial figures were released, and they spent a lot of money to get to this division. But last season, they played 23 home games in the league, won 22, and drew just 1, which was a 2-2 draw against Woking in mid-February, Valentine's Day actually, scoring 74 goals. So they didn't lose a single game in the league at home last season. And then the first game at home in League 2, what do they go and do? They go and get beat. They were beaten 5-3 by MK Dons. But that's a ridiculous home record last season for Wrexham. 22 wins from 23 with the 1 draw. I mean, I don't care how much money they spent and everything like that. To have the consistency to make the racecourse such a fortress is just very impressive. And they've done similar again this season. You know, at the minute, this will be 14 home wins from 20 in the league, which again is no stat to be ashamed of. That's brilliant numbers. Just not winning 6 of your 20 home games. And I definitely think that's what's helping Wrexham through this season. Their home form, it is difficult place to go. I've been there as a supporter myself, as an away supporter, being beaten, and it is awful. It's a ground that really you feel like you're getting swallowed up in. It's a strange feeling. So it's not a nice ground to go to when you're trailing and you're losing. It's definitely a difficult place to go, as they are showing the highlights from the Stockport County goals, and it was a brilliant goal from Callum Camps. I mean, seriously, it was a thunderbolt of a finish. 25 yards out, top right corner, and then loanee from Aston Villa, Rico Richards, scores as well, low cross, and then a finish from the about 8 yards out or so. So Stockport County regain their top spot in the league, where they were for a majority of the season. It's only recently Mansfield have gone top of the league. It looks like they're losing that spot rather quickly. But as mentioned it before the game, I couldn't really get into it because I think an opportunity occurred. Nigel Clough took over at Mansfield in November 2020. And his first game was against Phil Parkinson, who's now in charge of Wrexham. And they won away at Sunderland in the FA Cup. I think that's just ridiculous. Out of all the managers to face in your first game, it was Phil Parkinson, whose last job before Wrexham was Sunderland. Didn't really go too well for Phil Parkinson, as this would be his 98th win as Wrexham boss here for Phil Parkinson, who famously took Bradford to the League Cup final in 2013, where he won promotion with Bradford that same season to League One through the playoffs. It's about to get back underway here, and I think we've had a double change for Mansfield. It clearly shows that Nigel Clough isn't best pleased with that first half performance, for the lack of real chances they created. Not quite sure who has come off. I know the two that have come on, 2 strikers, Tom Nichols, who was brought in January from Gillingham, and then James Gale. who's been at the club now for just under 3 years. Not quite sure who's come off. I'll have to let you know as soon as possible. But Wrexham to kick off, kicking right to left. Mansfield left to right towards that temporary cop stand. There's Mansfield. You've got work to do. It's Cleworth from the kick-off. Sends it long towards Ollie Palmer. Headed away by Bowery. Drops here for Cannon. Plays it to his right here to Bolton. About 25 yards out from goal. Palmer out to the right. Hits the ball. Out of play. Mansfield throwing right next to the corner flag on that far side. Still don't know who's come off for Mansfield. Here we go. So it is Will Swan and Lewis Brunt, the centre-back. Off for 2 strikers of Tom Nichols and James Gale. So that's rather attacking that from Mansfield. Took off one of their centre-backs. So, again, we'll have to see how they set up here. Mansfield, it looks like they're going to just go for this. Nothing to lose. I'll keep up to date with who's going to be playing where. As you can't say they're not going for it, Mansfield. As Wrexham still have it on that right-hand side. Lifted forward by Cleworth. Comes off the head of Bowery. Bounces on the edge of the area. Header won by Clark for Mansfield. It's now a left-back McLaughlin who clears it down the left-hand side. Keeler Dunn will chase it. It'll be cleared by O'Connell. Not very convincing, but the deflection drops to Cleworth, who then clears it forward. But Palmer was coming back from an offside position, so it's a free kick here for Mansfield. It looks like it might be Jordan Bowery, centre-back, alongside Flint, with Lucas Aikins, the 35-year-old, playing at right-back. Really attacking. Shows the versatility of this Mansfield team, to say the least. As Bolton looks in behind for Mullin. Can he get there ahead of Aikins? On the edge of the 18-yard box, Mullin tries to use his strength to get the ball away, but the slide challenge gets it away from Aikins. That's brilliant from Mullin. McLean to the run of Elliott, left wing position, on his right foot, outside the area. Finds McLean, who overlaps. One-on-one with Aikins. Takes it down the left-hand side. Crosses. It's a fierce ball. It's a header won by Flint on the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed won, though, by Elliott. Put into the sky by O'Connor. Boyle heads forward. Only as far as Reed, who finds Keeler Dunn on the halfway line. Turns forward. Brings it forward. Plays it to the left here. Chance. Gale shoots at the near post. It's tipped behind by Okonkwo. And that'll be a Mansfield corner. Very slick counter-attack there from Mansfield. As it was a good ball there from Reed to find Keeler Dunn on halfway, who turned forward and was looking for the run of James Gale, who just peeled off towards the left side of the box. Struck the shot, which I think took a slight nick off Cleworth. And then saved by Okonkwo. I think it was going to hit the post and go wide, but the goalkeeper wasn't to know. And the resulting corner headed away for Wrexham. Put back in, though, by Lewis. And Palmer and Clark go for it for Wrexham and Mansfield, and they collide with heads, so the plays just had to be stopped there. Clark back to his feet straight away. Palmer's had to just stay down for the moment. It's an early shot on goal. Again, I think it will class as a shot off target, but it's closer that time from the substitute James Gale, who's not scored yet this season in the league. He's been out for a lot of the season. He's only returning this month. He's been out since November. He returned against Bradford away on the 16th of March. That was his first appearance for James Gale since the 18th of November. So quite a bit of time out on the sidelines for James Gale, but he's on for this second half where he's almost scored off the bench. So as Ollie Palmer gets a little bit of treatment, it looks like we're going to get back underway. I think the goalkeeper will receive the ball. He'll be dropped here by the referee for Arthur Okonkwo, 22-year-old goalkeeper. Spent last season on 2 loan spells. He spent one part of the season at Crewe in League 2, then spent the other half of the season in the Austrian First Division with Sturm Graz. So a bit of a different bit of scenery for Arthur Okonkwo, but he's in Wales this time, for this season, as he clips the ball forward. Midway side, the Mansfield half, headed away by Flint, headed out to the right by O'Connor for Wrexham to Bolton, and he sends it high, curling down the right-hand side, dealt with by Bowery. It's a loose ball, and it's won back there by Bolton. It's now O'Connor to keep it away from the Mansfield press, and Wrexham can bring it forward down the left-hand side here with Lee into the space here for McLean, in the final third towards the corner flag. He's now running forward in towards the 18-yard box. He puts a right-footed cross in, which comes off the head of Reed. And then headed back forward by Boyle, Loose ball drops here for Andy Cannon. Edge of the area to the left-hand side. Plays it through towards the byline. McLean will sprint to get there and he will get the cross in. Cleared by Flint. Not very convincing, but he will drop for Mansfield as they look to clear it forward. Comes off Cleworth. And that'll go behind for a Mansfield goal kick. Tom Nichols there trying to play the ball forward quickly for Mansfield, but it was cut out well there by Max Cleworth. So, goal kick for Mansfield, taken short by Bowery to the goalkeeper of Pym, who goes long out towards the Mansfield right, just beyond the halfway line. It's headed forward by Boyle for Wrexham, out to the left to McLean, just in front of the halfway line. Curls it down the left channel, looking for Elliot Lee, who will beat Reed to it. Lee charging into the area. It's seen behind, though, by Gale for a goal kick for Mansfield. Almost completed an unbelievable run there, Elliot Lee. Wasn't meant to be, though. Elliot Lee, who is the son of Rob Lee, who spent 10 years at Newcastle, came through at West Ham. Elliot Lee making his 99th Wrexham appearance. As it is with Mansfield. Heading it forward by Clark into the centre circle for Tom Nichols, who loses out to Cannon. Plays it back out to the left here to McLean in the Mansfield half. Again, curling it down the left-hand side, looking for Palmer. Dealt with by Flint, who got there first. Finding Akins, who clears it with his left foot. Bit of a hurry clearance. It'll be Gale to chase it, though, for Mansfield. And it'll be seen out by O'Connell for Wrexham. And that'll be a throw-in for the home side. Mansfield heads it forward. Nichols charging down the right-hand side. He goes over the challenger McLean. Nothing given by the referee. Wrexham clear it long. Mullin chases it down the left-hand side. Bowery needs to deal with it. Can't do so. Mullin now has it. Finds Palmer. Edge of the box. Wants to get onto his right foot. But can't find Cannon with his heavy touch. Play continues though as Wrexham have got it to the left-hand side. It's McLean. Crosses it in. It's a great ball in, but no one's there to attack it. Well caught in the end by Christy Pym for Mansfield. And it'll be the away team now back on the board. And that goal, scored by Mullin for Wrexham, is the 100th goal that Christy Pym has conceded in a Mansfield shirt. He's been here for the last 2 seasons. The first season of his stay here was on loan from Peterborough, and that was turned permanent at the start of this season. Wrexham clear the ball here into the Mansfield half. Mullin's chasing it, but it'll be Bowery this time to deal with it on the edge of the 18-yard box. Playing it down the Mansfield left. McLaughlin, nice ball inside to Reed. He'll play it forward, can't get it in through the lines. Cut out by O'Connor on the halfway line. And Wrexham attack down the right. Cannon looking for Bolton just over here. Ball goes out of play. Elliot Lee and James McLean not happy with the pass choice there from Cannon as there was a bit of space and opening up on the Wrexham left. A free kick for Mansfield. McLaughlin caught there by Luke Bolton, I believe. As they play it to their goalkeeper Pym. Then forward to the right-hand side of Stockport County. 3-0 up away at Forest Green now. So it looks like it could be Stockport County at the top of the league at the end of today. Flint, another bad pass that. Cut out by O'Connor for Wrexham. High ball up towards Mullin. Headed away by Flint out of play. Wrexham throwing just inside the Mansfield half. Not the greatest of performances from the Mansfield captain today. Aidan Flint. I've definitely seen him work and play better than this. McLean. The throw-in. He loses out. O'Connor wins it back though. As the Mansfield clearance was dealt with by O'Connell. And Cleworth on the far side. He's going to sprint to keep it in. He plays it down the line. It's kept in. It's with Bolton. Tackled fairly from behind. And a chance for Mansfield. Keeler Dunn. Tackled really well there by O'Connor. Last touch comes off the Wrexham midfielder. And it'll be a corner for Mansfield on the far side. Thomas O'Connor wanting the goal kick. Keeler Dunn again just couldn't quite get away from the Wrexham midfield. He's having a bit of a frustrating afternoon so far. Davis Keeler done. As he will deliver the cross in from the corner. It's a high one. It's an in-swinger. It's a header won by Palmer in the 6-yard box for Wrexham. McLaughlin keeps it away from Mullin. Back to Keeler Dunn, who's one-on-one at the moment with Bolton. Plays it across here to Lewis. Edge of the box, slips it through now. Mansfield, cross it, high, and it's no one there at the far post. It'll fall through for McLean. And the counter-attack's on here for Wrexham. As the Irishman takes on one, and is tackled by the second, but can take it away from the third, but then tackled by the fourth man. And it's now back with Mansfield. Keeler Dunn, through for Reed. Edge of the area has been dispossessed by Cannon. Really big waste there. It's Bolton to take on Lewis and charge away. Bolton turns on the acceleration and plays it across the left to Mullin. Can't quite find him. Cut out on the edge of the box by Flint. Played forward quickly here to Gale. And Mansfield look to attack again. It's Nichols on the left wing. Midway inside the Wrexham half. Ball through for Gale, who turns forward. Trip there, is he? Yes, he is. By O'Connor. About 25 yards out. James Gale wins the free kick for Mansfield. Again, O'Connor disagrees, but it did look like a trip to me. So it looks like Davis Keeler Dunn with his right foot will be the one to take it. It's a 4-man wall for Wrexham, as we're over 11 minutes into the second half, and Mansfield still trail at the moment. About 25 yards out, this would be a wonderful strike if it hits the back of the net. It's over the wall and it can't go under the crossbar. And it's behind for a goal kick. Not his greatest of strikes there by Davis Keeler Dunn, the 26-year-old. Who hit it quite nicely, but couldn't get it back down in time. It could be seen over the crossbar by Arthur Okonkwo. As this is a 4-hour round trip for Mansfield on this Good Friday. That's from the goal kick. Okonkwo sends it into the Mansfield half. Wrexham left-hand side, headed backwards by Palmer, straight to Lee, who sends it over the top here for Mullin, who will not get there ahead of Bowery. He will try and see this ball behind now for a goal kick, which he does do so. And that'll be a goal kick again. Mullin not happy with the decision. It's gone against him. Seen behind for a goal kick by Jordan Bowery, who is Mansfield's number 9 and can play striker, but clearly, obviously, more than capable of playing in defence as well. He's already played left back today. He's played right back. Now he's played centre half as well. Very versatile, Jordan Bowery. As the goal kick goes out to the Mansfield right, kept in by Clark, headed on there by Nichols, volleyed away by Boyle to the halfway line where Reed can't quite control it. Palmer flicks it through for Mullin, who can touch it through towards Lee. Gets away from the Wrexham 38. It's now back with Mansfield. Flint sending it down the Mansfield right again. Chested down this time by Gale. Played in now to Clark. Nichols surrounded by 4 red shirts and can't get rid of the ball. But then Wrexham clear it straight to Bowery, who can see it through to the goalkeeper of Pimp. Doesn't always stick a lot of the time for Wrexham as soon as they win the ball back. A lot of the time it does just go back to the opposition. But they don't mind it. It's the way they play under Phil Parkinson. But for Phil Parkinson at Wrexham, he has won 62 of his 81 games here at the racecourse. Brilliant record for Parkinson, as they are adding another victory to that tally at the moment as they attack down the left-hand side here with Palmer. 22 yards from goal, taking it away from Reed, squaring it across to the right here to Cannon. On once more to Bolton. It's a short pass and it can't get away from McLaughlin, who slides in, kicks the ball out of play for a throw-in. Could have been a lot more dangerous there if Luke Bolton had got in behind McLaughlin. But the Mansfield number 3 slid in to make sure that that wasn't going to happen. Bolton throws it into the 18-yard box towards Mullin, who touches it away from one player and a second and flicks it in to keep it in play here. And Bolton shields it, tries to turn on McLaughlin, not giving us a free kick yet as he loses out in possession. And it's now Mansfield to clear it forward. It's a long one up to the halfway line, where it's a free header for Boyle. Heads it to the edge of the box where it's headed away by Bowery for Mansfield. And it'll be a throw in here for Wrexham on halfway. Can't quite be kept in there by Keeler Dunn. Throwing down the line for Wrexham. No one there to chase it. Straight behind for a goal kick. Not quite sure what the intention was with that throwing, but no one was there in a red shirt to chase it down. And it's pretty much a free goal kick for Mansfield to build again from the back. As it goes long. Header won by Nichols, still in the air here, as he's volleyed by O'Connor. Dealt with by Bowery, brought down by Lewis for Mansfield. Goes to left back McLaughlin. Down the line it goes. It'll be given chase to here by Keeler Dunn as Okonkwo misses out. He drops it. Keeler Dunn gets there and he finishes. But the referee's blown the whistle. A huge error from Arthur Okonkwo, who came right towards the edge of his box to get that ball in his hands, and then he dropped it. We need to see a replay. Keeler Dunn thought he'd bagged his 20th league goal of the season. It was a hopeful ball down the left-hand side by McLaughlin. Okonkwo came to get it. Keeler Dunn nipped in. Did he have two hands on the ball? If he had two hands on the ball and he kicked it out of his hands, obviously that's not allowed. It did look like from the first replay, and the only replay I saw, it did look like Okonkwo had two hands on the ball, and then Keeler Dunn kicked it out of his hands. So, got away with that one, Okonkwo. Needs to be a bit stronger. Seemed a bit weak going for that ball, knowing that Keeler Dunn was chasing it down. Mansfield are back in possession. Midway side their own half, who centre back Bowery. Forward to Reed, and out to the right here to Akins, who's playing it right back in this second half. It's less than half an hour to play here at the racecourse. Wrexham lead by goal to nil. Paul Mullen in the 32nd minute with a poacher's goal from 6 yards out. McLaughlin goes inside to Lewis on halfway. Forward it goes. Plays a 1-2. Lewis has it back. It's now with Clark. 30 yards from goal. Played to the right to Akins. Inside the area now. One-on-one with McLean. Cuts in. Plays it across. Clark allowed to shoot with the left foot. And it's always rising. He was aiming for the top left corner. Not a great strike in the end by Ollie Clark. And it's a bit of a waste for Mansfield, who opened up the Wrexham midfield and defence there. Akins from right back getting forward for seems like the first time in the second half. So it's a Wrexham goal kick. Be taken by Okonkwo. Former England under-18s international, Okonkwo, whose goal kick is headed away by McLaughlin for Mansfield, held up on halfway there by Gale, who can kick it off Cleworth, and that'll be a throw for Mansfield, about 10 yards inside the Wrexham half on that far side. Well worked there by James Gale, the substitute striker, came on at half-time. Throwing goes down the line. Header one for Wrexham by Bolton. Can't be kept though as Lewis kicks it into the air, into the 18-yard box. Header one by O'Connell for Wrexham. Cannon to Bolton. Clearance again is short. McLaughlin picks it up, pass forward. It's a nice one as well. Finds Nichols, who crosses it into the box. It can't be controlled by Gale. It just got away from him. And it drops to McLean at left wing back, who chops away from Keeler Dunn in the box. That's ballsy, but it worked. And he clears it long, but can't make it stick up front. Got away from Ollie Palmer. And that'll be a Mansfield ball back in possession. Just inside the Wrexham half on this near side here with Akins. Driving it away from McLean. And then playing it back to Flint. It's now with the number 25 of Lewis Reed, former England under-20 international. Brought in last January in 2023 from Swindon. Making his 49th Mansfield appearance. Both of his Mansfield goals, Lewis Reed, have come away from home. Both this season against Doncaster and Notts County. Live from Brazil. Wow, go Wrexham. Crazy. Brazil. I just find it crazy, all these different places people watch the live stream from. Mansfield still got the ball inside their own half. Just knocking it around, keeping it away from the Wrexham red shirts. That's with Aidan Flint, the centre-back. Plays it forward into the Wrexham half here, looking for Clark. Keeps it away from Lee. Clark goes back to Flint, then forward to Akins. Then Clark takes over, running with intent here. And then the pass forward towards Nichols is over here. Cut out on the edge of the box there by O'Connell for Wrexham. It's now on the near side with McLean, who goes long. And then, again, can't find a red shirt. Flint heads forward. Laid off to Akins by Clark. Akins knocked off the ball by Lee fairly, according to the referee. Then Mullin brought down on the halfway line. Nothing given, says the referee, but Lee got onto the loose ball, finding Cannon. McLaughlin slips. Cannon slips it through to Bolton on the right-hand side, who's brought down by Bowery. And that's a penalty kick. Bowery is having to cover at centre-back after attacking half-time changes from Nigel Clough. He's dived in there on Luke Bolton. Didn't look like he got the ball. He was right in the corner of the box. It was a question of was it a penalty or free kick. Cannon, quite fortunately, got the ball deflected through to Bolton. Oh, the contact's on outside the box for me. I think the contact is just outside the area for me. It's difficult to see. We've got to remember we're in League 2. Got no VAR around here. Yeah, that's a free kick for me. Just on the edge of the box. It's a difficult one for the referee to see, in fairness. But in a game of such magnitude, decisions like that need to be right. And I think that one is just wrong. But it is a chance for Paul Mullin to bag a brace against Mansfield in Wrexham's biggest game of the season. He's already scored goal number 98 for the club. This would be goal 99, and this would give Wrexham some much needed breathing space. It's Paul Mullin from 12 yards out. Their main man, their number 10. It's quite a straight run up as Mullin powers that through the goalkeeper. Too much power for Christy Pym, and Wrexham have a 2-goal lead here. The goalkeeper knew Mullin was going to go down the middle, but even staying in the right position, the power was just simply too much. That is some strike from the laces of Paul Mullin. You just simply don't stop them. Not at all. Pym, the goalkeeper, got a slight touch to it, but it was never going to be enough to keep that out. And Wrexham double their lead with a quarter of the game to go. It's Wrexham 2, Mansfield 0. Big goal for Wrexham. Like I say, Mansfield have had a lot of the ball in this second half. Not done a lot with it. But Mansfield, again, fell to a mistake where they give Wrexham the goal. Jordan Bowery giving away the penalty kick on Luke Bolton, as it might be a sense here from Nigel Clough planning for Monday's game. He's bringing off their main man, Davis Keeler-Dunn, who has struggled out there today. Keeler-Dunn's been replaced by Hiram Boateng. And Ollie Clark, the number 8, is brought off and will be replaced by number 10, George Maris, who missed their last game against Colchester, but he's off the bench today. So 2 more changes for Mansfield as they go 2 behind in this game. Just their final third stuff for Mansfield just hasn't been there today at all. It's not been good enough, really, as they lose it on the left wing here with Gale. It's now Cannon forward to the halfway line to Palmer. Brings in O'Connor. Out to the left here to Lee. Beyond the halfway line we go. He's got McLean just behind him here, Elliot Lee, as he slows the play down and goes back to the halfway line here to McLean. And then back it goes to Will Boyle. Then on to the edge of the 18-yard box here with O'Connell. For Wrexham, he's got time to try and switch it. It's a horrendous ball. Boateng gets it on halfway, plays it forward here for Gale, who's tackled strongly by O'Connell, and it eventually drops O'Connor, who can't quite keep it away from Gale. Boateng goes back here to Reed, tackle from behind by Mullin. It's a fair one, and then it's a foul there from Reed. Went to get the ball, he was already gone, and that should be a yellow card there for the number 25 of Lewis Reed. Slightly frustrated with the fact he got tackled from behind there by Mullin. And then Reed tried to make up for it with a tackle on Elliot Lee, but it was always a late one. And it's a free kick for Wrexham with just over 20 minutes to play. As they go long, and it's a diagonal ball out to the right. Palmer loses out, but the loose ball drops to Cleworth. His clearance isn't great, but again, Mansfield can't keep it under control, and Cannon plays it over the top here for Bolton. It's just too much for him. Too much to ask for there, and it bounces out of play for a Mansfield goal kick. As in the other games around the grounds in League 2, we have got Barrow, who is Barrow is still 2-0 up against Grimsby at home. MK Dons are 3-0 up against Walsall. Crewe is still 0-0 away at Gillingham. Not a bad result that at the moment. Gillingham aren't a bad side. And Stockport County still 3-0 up away at Forest Green. So still not looking good for Mansfield today. Every result possible is going against them at the moment. And they've lost the top spot currently. It's now with Maris for Mansfield. He goes behind Reed and it will drop through for Cannon here. He will get there ahead of Lewis. Brought down by Lewis, who's already on a yellow card, I believe. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. I thought he was. I don't think he is. Sorry for getting you Wrexham fans excited, thinking that Mansfield were going down at 10. Sliding in there. Lewis just didn't get there ahead of Cannon. Just the yellow card. Sorry, I thought he'd already been yellowed. Sorry. So just the one yellow for Aaron Lewis in the game so far. Bit of a late one there on number 20 for Wrexham, Andy Cannon, who spent time at Stockport County. Andy Cannon won the National League with them ahead of Wrexham and then joined Wrexham the season after from Hull in the December of 2022. So back underway. Edge of the 18-yard box. Flint clears it down the Mansfield right towards Nichols, who's been pulled back there by Boyle, but nothing given by the referee. Sliced out of play by O'Connell for Wrexham, throwing on halfway for Mansfield. As it looks like Wrexham are going to make a double change of their own. As Lee tackles Boateng, and that's a foul. And it's taken quickly by the Mansfield number 44, Boateng. So now with left back McLaughlin. Forward to the halfway line here. Lewis tries to turn away from Cannon. Heavy touch, and Cannon gets there ahead of him. And Cannon has to go back here to Cleworth, whose clearance down the right-hand side. It will drop for Bowery. Good touch down there in the Mansfield half, and then played into Reed, who goes out to the right here to Akins. Forward into the centre circle now with Boateng, the substitute. Curls it to the left. Nice ball here to Lewis. Got McLaughlin on the overlap, finds him. Goes back here into Lewis. Switches out to the right towards Akins, who gets there, gets his body behind the ball. And Akins will fancy running at McLean here. Drives on the inside, plays the ball to the edge of the area. Tackled though there, Mansfield on the edge of the box. It's now with Palmer, goes to his left to McLean. Given away by Maris in the end, and it's now Mullen on the left-hand side, halfway line. Enters the Mansfield half, turns back, finds McLean, settles the play down. It's Wrexham who are back on the ball inside their own half. Wrexham's biggest win of the season was at home. It was a 6-0 win against Morecambe on the 25th of November. We're not going to quite hit those numbers, I don't think, in this game, but it's the most important 3 points they've got all season. Here, Wrexham. As we're going to get that double change now, we're going to see Ollie Palmer, the former Mansfield man, replaced here by Wrexham's number 26 of Stephen Fletcher. Turned 37 in the week. Brought in as a free agent. And the second change will see the penalty winner, Luke Bolton. He'll be replaced by number 29 of Ryan Barnett. It was out for the Grimsby game, but he's returned today. And he's off the bench to replace Luke Bolton. So it's Bolton and Palmer off for Barnett in Fletcher for the last remaining 20 so minutes of this game. Is Ryan Reynolds there? I've not seen a camera on him, and I'm presuming if he was there, there would have been a camera put on him, so I don't think so. I've not seen anyway. I could be wrong. As Lee sends it forward towards Fletcher on the edge of the box, can't lay it off for Mullen. Mansfield get it forward quickly here to Boateng in the centre circle again. Out to the right here to Gale. Bit of a heavy touch, allowed to tackle from Boyle. Does fall back to Mansfield though, but they've got Mansfield and they've now got all the Wrexham players behind the ball. Not really good enough there on the ball by James Gale, the 22-year-old. Halfway line is now Maris. Back it goes to Bowery and across to his centre-back partner at the moment of Aidan Flint. It's just not been good enough going forward for Mansfield. Feels like they're always running into brick walls when they go forward. Not enough creativity. Keeler Dunn was trying to do it all on his own and that was just not working for him. He's been substituted, the Mansfield top goal scorer. Straight after the second goal went in for Wrexham. Just puts a bit more doubt in the Mansfield minds, as this would be just one win in the last 3. That's Boateng on this near side. Goes all the way back here to Flint, just inside his own half. Then out to the left here to McLaughlin. He's got Barnett chasing him down here. Pokes it forward though for Maris. And out to the left it goes to Lewis. Down the left channel for Gale. It's backheeled back towards Lewis, was poor. It's played back to Okonkwo by Wrexham and cleared forward to the halfway line, controlled by Fletcher. Tackled strongly by Maris, both are okay. Drops to Cannon, who sends it over the top for Mullin. Down the right-hand side, he's kept it in, and the flag has stayed down as well. Mullin pulls it back, it's a high one. Fletcher can't control that one. Drops to Boateng, who keeps it away from Cannon. Finds Nichols inside his own half, but Nichols slips, and the pressure from McLean was enough for him to go over. And it'll be Wrexham back on the ball in the final third on this near side. Cannon finds McLean. Back through for Cannon. Still onside. Back to McLean again. Cannon kicks it off Akins, and that's a throw for Wrexham on the near side. Put a real shift in those midfielders for Wrexham in that midfield 3 of Elliot Lee, Thomas O'Connor and Andy Cannon. How many games left? Both of these teams have 6 games left after today. 6 games to decide if they can get promotion to League One. Easy 1-2 between Lee and McLean from the throw-in. And the McLean cross goes low to Mullin, who can lay off for Lee here in the box. Tries to go across himself towards Barnett. Cut out by Maris. Played forward here for Mansfield to Gale. Loses out, though, to Barnett, who's off the bench here for Wrexham. And it's now Cleworth. Lifts it back to Barnett down the right-hand side, who keeps it in on that far side. Charges forward with the ball. Barnett with it, keeping away from Gale. But loses that to McLaughlin, and that'll be a throw-in for Wrexham in the final third on the far side this time around. The last game here at the racecourse between these two was a 2-1 Wrexham win. Could get the same today. We've got 2-0 at the moment. There's Mullin. Kicks out of play. Throwing for Mansfield. In their defensive third. In the left-back area. As there is the Mansfield manager, Nigel Clough, not looking best pleased at the moment. There's a really poor clearance from the free kick there. From the clearance. Straight on the ground and straight back to Wrexham. This is not the performance Mansfield fans were expecting. It's not the one they were wanting either. As a great ball in behind for Elliot Lee. The goalkeeper comes, Lee slobs him, and it's just gone wide. Wrexham, Stephen Fletcher at the far post tried to divert it into the goal. McLean with a great ball in behind. Elliot Lee just a simple spin there on Akins. And just as he was entering the box on the left-hand side, the goalkeeper came for it. Elliot Lee lifted it over him towards that far corner where he couldn't quite hit the back of the net. And Fletcher couldn't keep it in. And it's gone for a Mansfield goal kick gone long here. It drops to Maris in the end, who can play it out towards the left-hand side. But it deflects. But there's a free kick given to Mansfield. As Maris played it, it was brought down by Cannon. If Mansfield can somehow work a goal, 2-1 with just over 10 minutes to play, it changes the complexion of the game. Boateng, about 25 yards from goal, taking up a central area. Goes out to the right here to Akins. Back inside to Boateng. Forward to the edge of the box here to Gale. Back to Akins again on the right-hand side. Plays it to his left to Lewis. Gets away from O'Connor. Lewis on the edge of the box. Crosses. It's a good one to the far post. Just slightly overhit. Maris chases it and goes backwards. Sorry about that. I don't know what's just happened, but the cross goes in and it's headed away. Do apologise for that. I'm just confused of what on earth's happened. I've lost track. Free kick for Mansfield, halfway line. Fletcher just going in late there on Lewis, who's probably been Mansfield's best player. I mean, they've not had many good players out there today, Mansfield, but I feel like Aaron Lewis has been like the only one who's looked capable of doing something in the game, and he'll be the one to launch this one forward. He'll clip it into the 18-yard box here towards Flint, goes over his head, headed forward though by Gale, volleyed by O'Connor, and it will bounce for a Mansfield throw just inside the Wrexham half on the far side. what team you support, bro? I've mentioned this a few times actually, so if you're new, you might just not know, but I do support Stockport County, and with this result, they go top of the league. So if it could stay the same, that would be nice. But I wouldn't mind a bit of drama as well. A Mansfield goal would really make this final 10 minutes for Wrexham rather nervy. As Mansfield have got it on the near side, Akins needs to keep it away from McLean. Does do that, but his pass backwards sends Flint midway side zone half, which kills the momentum a bit for Mansfield, who just look lost of what to do, really. It just seems like they don't know how to break through this Wrexham team, and I don't blame them for not knowing how at times, because it's a flat back five and then a midfield three. It's just tough to get through. They're very resolute, this Wrexham side, as they go long eventually, headed down by Boyle to Maris, and now Mansfield have got an opportunity. Boateng on the edge of the area, plays it across to the left here to Lewis, flicks it for Reed, out to the left now to McLaughlin, the cross needs to go in, cuts it back for Reed, who clips it into the far post, towards Akins, who gets up there and nods it down. Boyle needs to clear it, and he does do so in the 6-yard area. It's up in the air, it's a header back forward by Bowery, nodded on by Lewis. Gale can't quite beat Cleworth to it, and then Barnett clears it down the Wrexham right, where it goes all the way through here for Flint in the Mansfield defence. And it's the away side to rebuild once again. Better attack. The least have actually worked themselves into the Wrexham 18-yard box, something they haven't done a lot of in this second half, or in the game in general, really. As Nichols goes down the right-hand side here to Gale, tackled by O'Connell. It's now with O'Connor, whose clearance isn't great, controlled here by Akins. He goes inside to his left to Boateng. It's now Reed, midway side the Wrexham half. Plays it out to the left here to McLaughlin. Just goes behind him. Again, just that pass kills the momentum a little bit. Just going behind him. It's now in a left wing position with Lewis. Tries to go inside towards Nichols. It deflects and falls to O'Connor, who gets it forward to Mullin, who makes it stick this time. Finds Stephen Fletcher in the halfway line. Out to the left it goes now to McLean. Midway side the Mansfield half. Goes back into the midfield now with Elliott. Lee. Turning away from Boateng. Tackle by Boateng, and that will be Wrexham to keep the ball as Boateng was dispossessed by McLean. It's now with O'Connell bringing it forward for Wrexham beyond the halfway line. Playing it out to the right towards Cleworth. Not quite on the same wavelength. It will be kept in by Andy Cannon. Oh, it's not kept in by Andy Cannon. It's gone out of play. Last touch off Nichols. And that'll be a throw-in for Wrexham. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. 3 more commentaries coming this Easter weekend. Free kick right in front of the halfway line, right on the far side. Taking long, it's a diagonal ball out to the Wrexham left. It's headed on by Akins, gone the wrong way. Volleyed by Flint in the 18-yard box. He's connected with that one. Back out towards the Wrexham right, where Barnett will see it out for another throw. There's still going to be debate if that Wrexham penalty was inside the area, and I don't think it was. I think the contact was outside the box. I think they've been quite fortunate with that one, Wrexham, but they will not care. And Wrexham, their goal scorer, Paul Mullin, scored both today, and that puts him on 99 for the club. So 1 more goal for Paul Mullin, and it is goal number 100. As they attack down the right here, Wrexham, Mullin finds Cannon. Just outside the 18-yard box towards the byline. Cannon still has it. Goes backwards here to Barnett, whose touch is a bit loose out wide, and it goes out of play. Pretty sloppy that from Ryan Barnett. And Mansfield have it. Midway side their own half here with Boateng. Goes to Flint. Across the box here to Bowery. To the left to McLaughlin, lifts it into the Wrexham half here, down the left-hand side towards Nichols, gets there with a good chested touch, and plays it inside here for Gale. Can't quite get away from O'Connor. And Wrexham are back on the ball. And they've gone long. Stephen Fletcher's in behind, and the flag stayed down as well. Lays it off for Mullin in the area, corner of the box. Fletcher takes over again as Mullin slips. Goes out to the left here to McLean. Lays it off for Lee. Can't get away from Boateng. And then the ball back out wide left to McLean. Just goes too far in front of him. Can't take it under control. Ball rolls out for a Mansfield goal kick. 5 minutes left of the 90 here. It's not been the greatest quality of football I've ever seen, but I don't think Wrexham fans will care at all, as this takes them level on points with Mansfield as they sit joint second. As Pym clears long for Mansfield from the 6-yard area. Goes towards Nichols. Away from him, headed by Cleworth, straight to Maris. Lifts it out to the left there to Gale, who will keep it in the left wing position. 1-on-1 with Cleworth. Goes back to McLaughlin, who will cross this first time. It's a good ball. Goes all the way through and across, and eventually slammed away by McLean into the air, where it's brought down by Akins. The loose ball drops to Cannon, who fires it out to the left, where Mullin will chase it down. Flint will get there first, had a bit of a head start on him. And Flint will find Christy Pym in the 18-yard box. Then to the edge of the area we go to Bowery. He goes forward with the ball, not being pressed by Stephen Fletcher, as Wrexham are going to make 2 more changes late on once the ball next goes out of play. It's on this near side of Akins, back into Boateng. Not been that bad since coming on, Hiram Boateng, who did start 3 of the last 4 games before today. Named on the bench. It's now on this near side here with Boateng. Touch towards goal as he's been closed down by Elliot Lee. Goes back to Flint. Then across to Bowery. It's now with left back McLaughlin still inside his own half. Goes forward towards Lewis. And the pass goes out of play. And I think sometimes when you're watching a game of football, sometimes you can guess what league the game is. And I think this is one of them. You can definitely tell this is a League 2 quality game. It's not been fantastic technically, but you know, at the end of the day, it is the 4th division of English football. You're not going to be getting Pep style stuff, but yeah, you can definitely tell this is the lower leagues of English football, that's for sure. Is the double change here. We'll see Elliot Lee come off for George Evans, who returns for Wrexham, the number 12, after missing the last 9 games out injured. And Paul Mullin, the man on a brace, is replaced by their new signing in January, and that is Jack Marriott, brought in from an undisclosed fee from Fleetwood. Only made 3 starts, though, and not scored yet for Wrexham, Jack Marriott, but he'll try and change that if possible with the time he's got remaining in this game. Now it's a Mansfield throw-in, midway side, or just inside the Wrexham half, on the far side with McLaughlin. He throws it into Lewis. McLaughlin gets it back and takes on Cannon and away from Fletcher. Then the pass forward's poor. Can't find Nichols. O'Connell brings it away. Goes behind there to Cannon, who just keeps it away from Maris. And then Barnett's forced back to Okonkwo in the Wrexham goal. Then out to the left it goes here to Boyle, the left centre half of Wrexham. It's now with McLean forward to O'Connor, who can get away from Akins down the left-hand side. O'Connor still somehow full of running. The cross deflects to the edge of the area, where the header's won by Flint. Drops here for Evans, whose pass forward is cut out by Akins, and then Boyle slides in and kicks the ball away from Boateng. Akins clears it up the field for Mansfield, but it's Boateng to get on the ball in the end and send it forward, looking for Gale. Dealt with, though, by O'Connell. It's out to the near side here with McLean. He's going to go for a big switch out to the right-hand side here towards Fletcher, who heads it up into the sky and then controls it beautifully. Can't turn, though, away from Lewis. That would have been nice, bit of skill that from Fletcher, as Mansfield eventually clear it straight out of play. And it's a throw-in midway side the Wrexham half here for the home team, who are getting a vital 3 points in their 50th game in all competitions. This will be Wrexham's 28th win, 14th at home in the league. As Mansfield have it back in the centre circle with Nichols. Goes down over the challenge of O'Connell. And that'll be a free kick for Mansfield as the rain really does start to pour in Wales. It's on this near side for Mansfield. Midway side the Wrexham half of Akins. Goes to the left to Reed. Dinks it in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Headed forward by Boyle for Wrexham. Gets the ball back from O'Connor. And Boyle's got time to find a clearance as he sends it down the Wrexham left. It's Headed on by Marriott, but no one there running for the ball for Wrexham. So it's back with Mansfield with Aidan Flint. As we're reaching the 90th minute here at the racecourse, Flint goes long, up towards Gale, goes over his head and into the feet of the Wrexham goalkeeper of Okonkwo, who eventually picks the ball up and rolls it out to the right centre half of Max Cleworth. And Wrexham are back on the ball. They go long again off the head of McLaughlin as we've got 5 minutes added on here at the racecourse. Ball goes up towards Marriott, who stayed on side here. Charging down the right-hand side, tackle by Bowery, who will keep the ball in and goes back to Pym, the goalkeeper, who's just about cleared it ahead of Marriott, who slid in to try and block the clearance. Headed forward, though, by Cleworth. Controlled by O'Connor, just inside the Mansfield half. Out to the right to Barnett, who lifts it down the line, looking for Cannon. Controls it well, but runs out of pitch on that far side. And it'll be a Mansfield throw-in, as we've got 4.5 minutes left here. And it looks like it's 2 games in a row where Mansfield failed to take all 3 points. Every defeat they've had so far this season away from home, Mansfield, have been 2-1. This could be the first defeat where it's not 2-1. It's 2-0 at the moment. This is with their goalkeeper, Christy Pym. Came through Exeter Academy, the goalkeeper, who sends this one long, deep into the Wrexham half. Can't be won by Gale, headed away by Boyle instead for Wrexham, out to the right wing back of Barnett, who takes no prisoners, just gets rid, up towards Stephen Fletcher, who can hold it up away from Bowery and play it through for Marriott, who is tackled by Aidan Flint. The header from the number 14 is sent towards the corner flag, and it'll be seen out by the Wrexham number 11. And it's a corner kick for Wrexham as they see through this 2-0 lead in a game which they've had to work hard for. I'm not taking that away from them. They've made it almost impossible for Mansfield to get through. It's probably been the perfect Phil Parkinson performance, really. They do like to turn up in these big moments, in these big games at the racecourse, as that rain is absolutely lashing it down. I think Mansfield are taking that as a sign to go home and head back 2 hours towards Mansfield. As Wrexham goes short, they try and kick it off a defender in the corner to win another corner, but instead of kicking it off a defender, it's just kicked straight out of play. And that's a goal kick for Mansfield. It's got to go long here if they've got any opportunity of even scoring a goal. Pym sends it forward. Header won by McConnell. By O'Connell, sorry, for Wrexham. And McLean clears it forward. Header won by Fletcher, but it goes backwards for Wrexham, collected by Lewis. And then switched out to the right, but not in play. Nowhere near Boateng. And it's 2.5 minutes until full time. And we're getting close to the full time whistle. Like I say, this game has just lacked quality, which absolutely suits Wrexham to a T with the way that Phil Parkinson plays. Just constant long balls, constantly trying to put the back line under pressure, getting on the seconds, trying to hit counter-attacks. And they've just suffocated Mansfield in this game. Just not been able at all to get into the final third. Very rarely they've actually got into the Wrexham 18-yard box in this game. And Mansfield should worry, really, because, you know, their automatic promotion spot's on the line now, from now till the end of the season. Their season ends in a month. End of April, the League Two season ends, until the playoffs in the May. They've got it on the halfway line with Bowery. Finds Flint just towards this near side, back to Bowery. Just need to do something with it here, Mansfield. Maris goes to the left to McLaughlin. Got Barnett in front of him, goes down the line. It's dummied by Lewis, can't be kept in. Oh, it's not well, it's dummied, but he's deflected off a Wrexham player. So thrown from Mansfield in quickly by Maris to Nichols in the final third. Finds Lewis. Goes across to the right to Reed. On once more to Akins here, about 35 yards from goal. Finds Reed again. Out to the right to Boateng, who's going to cross it towards the far post. It's not a brilliant ball. It's kept alive by Nichols, but cleared by Barnett. Nichols, his touch was just away from him. And it's cleared away. And a minute left to play as it's back with the Wrexham goalkeeper of Christy Pym. He goes long up towards the edge of the 18-yard box here. Header won by McLean for Wrexham. Falls for Fletcher, who sends it over the top here for Marriott, who's going to give chase to this ball, but will not get there ahead of the goalkeeper, who was there ready to collect any pass through on goal. Reed puts it in towards the corner of the box on the Mansfield left. Header won by Barnett. Loose ball drops from Maris. In the air it goes. Comes off the hand of Cannon, but play will continue here. It wasn't very deliberate handball. It'll be McLaughlin from afar to cross this in. It's a poor ball Volleyed away by Cleworth. Cannon back to Barnett. And away it goes into the Mansfield half. Fletcher's going to chase it. Bowery wins it. Plays it nicely down the line to McLaughlin. And with just over 10 seconds left to play, I don't even think Mansfield are going to get themselves on the score sheet here. Looking for their 80th goal of the season in the league here. As Boateng finds Maris. Back to the right here now to Akins, who will deliver a cross in. It's a header that's won by Cleworth. And on the edge of the box, O'Connor volleys into the air. And Wrexham win a huge 3 points here at the racecourse. They defeat Mansfield and go level on points with the Stags in second and third place. Now, Stockport County lead the league title race by a point with a game in hand. But in terms of those automatic spots, Wrexham have kept themselves ahead of the likes of MK Dons and Crewe and Barrow and have got themselves level with Mansfield. Joint second, just goal difference favouring Mansfield at the moment by some margin as well. They've got a 16 better goal difference than Wrexham, but it's bragging rights for Wrexham in this one, beating Mansfield here for the first time since April 2013. 2 goals from Paul Mullin, which takes him 1 away from 100 for Wrexham. The first one in the first half was a poacher's goal from 6 yards out, a pull back across the box by Cannon. Found its way to Mullin. Somehow, some way, it got through the Mansfield defenders, and Mullin with an easy finish, close in on goal. And the second one was a penalty with a quarter of the game to go. There is big questions of if the penalty foul was in or outside the box. On replays, it looked like it was outside the box, which is frustrating for Mansfield, but it was given as a penalty by today's referee of Lewis Smith, and it was dispatched by Paul Mullin. An absolute thunderbolt down the middle. The goalkeeper stayed down the middle, but it was hit with so much power, it just went straight through him and into the back of the net. Mansfield dominated the possession, didn't really do anything with it throughout the entire game. Wrexham have done their game plan to a T, and they have grasped the rewards of doing that game plan, and they have collected 3 points here. And with 6 games to go, it looks like Wrexham could be on their way to back-to-back promotions here, because they do have a game in hand on MK Dons, who are 4th. That one team outside the promotion spots on 70 points. So it could be a 6-point gap to MK Dons with 5 games to play, which seems a very healthy points gap to have. But thanks to everyone who did listen today. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. 3 more commentaries over the weekend. Tomorrow we're covering Aston Villa Wolves at 5:30, and then Liverpool Brighton on the Sunday at 2 o'clock. And then on Monday we are watching Leeds take on Hull City at Ellen Road at 8 o'clock. So make sure you're there for that one. But from the race course here in League 2, in a clash at the top, it is Wrexham who come out on top. Mansfield tried their best to break through, but they never really had a sniff at goal. It's a Mullin double, it's a Wrexham 3 points, and it is here at the racecourse. It finishes Wrexham 2, Mansfield 0.